Hi, this is Linda, and remember, hi everyone, this is Linda, and don't forget to make sure you subscribe and like my channel. This is being done just a little bit differently. It's going to be tied into the mySewnet project cloud. If you don't have that, you can also go to my page at Linda Stitchens, and it's the group page that you want to get into. And actually, I'll have the link in there, and it'll take you to the project file and let you see that. And I'll also put the piece of clip art that you need in there, so that if you don't want to use the project wizard, that's fine. So this is going to be done using Premier+2 Ultra. It can also be done in Extra, but can also be done in mySewnet Platinum or in Gold. We're going to learn about using your Express Design wizard, using some letters for eyelets, Word Sculp for a shape, modify a design that already exists, modify a SuperDesign, and use some Encore. Premier+2 Ultra or Extra can be done in mySewnet Platinum. This one, Premier+ Ultra Extra, you wouldn't be able to use the Word Sculp, but otherwise you could do everything else. All the supplies are listed in the mySewnet project, which I'll have a link to in the description on the channel. Clip art needed for that project is also there. I will also include it at my Linda Stitchens group Facebook page. So if you want that, that's where you need to go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back here to the Home tab. First thing we want to do is set our hoop. So I'm going to change it to the 360 by 260 hoop, and I want it to be in natural position so that I have the tallest going up and down, and I'm going to do OK. Now, for those that don't have the 360 by 260 hoop or the ability to do that, you can change this to a smaller size, and then you're just going to have to adjust all the sizes to a smaller size. So we're going to do OK. I'm going to go to my Wizards tab, and you should have already downloaded the picture. And if you don't have the picture, it's in the mySewnet project file. So we're going to do Express Design into hoop. We're going to do border. I'm going to do next. I'm going to load a picture, and there's that. I'm going to do next. And so this is basically the box laid flat. So I'm going to do next. I'm going to do next. I am not doing an applique, so I need to have this unselected. I'm going to just do a single stitch all the way around, just so it gives me my shape of what I need to do. And I'm going to hit finish. And I now have this. So now what I need to do is I need to get the face in here. So what the first thing it's going to do is it's going to sew this down. So just so I kind of have an idea of where I'm going to be sewing. So I'm going to go to Insert. And of course, you're going to see all kinds of things here. Where I want to do is I need to be in my Premier+2 samples, Premier+2 EMB, and I'm going to search for bunny. And there's a couple of them here, but the one I'm going to use is Bunny Rabbit in Suit, which is this guy. And I'm going to do open. And I know he's really small, but all I want is that little face in there. So we're going to go to the Modify tab. And not the Modify module, but the Modify tab. And I'm going to come in here, and I need to get rid of some things. So I'm going to uncheck everything but the black. And so now I'm going to do Select All Visible, and I'm going to say Cut. And I'm going to now do Select All Visible again, and I'm going to do Delete. Make sure you do it in that order. Don't go and try and do Cut again, because Cut will overwrite what I have over here in the clipboard. So now I need to do Paste, and I have this in here. I'm going to zoom in, and I need to get rid of this area down here at the bottom. So I'm going to do box select, and I'm click, hold, and drag, and I'm going to select all that and delete. So all I have is the face left. And I'm going to zoom in there really good. And I need to do some other changes here. For the first thing I want to do is hit select resize. So I'm going to do resize. I need to have, select all visible, resize, so you have the blue squares. And then I need to change some things. I need to make this very large, much larger than it already is. So what I'm going to do is the height is actually going to be changed by 465%. Now I know, normally you're going to say, oh, you're only supposed to do 20%. For this purpose, this is going to work just fine. And 333. So my size is about 60 by 40, and I'm going to hit apply. So now he's nice and big. But if you look really close, there's some things that really don't look very nice. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to freehand select. And I'm going to actually, oh, right mouse, freehand select. Make sure nothing is selected, and then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to grab these guys. And I'm just going to hit delete. So it's going to kind of clean that up a little bit. But if you notice these over here, I'm going to do select stitches, and I'm going to grab that first one and I'm going to slide him up here, select the next one, slide it up, select this one and slide it up so it's closer. And then I can actually do the same thing with these. Now I could have done the same thing with those over there and just slid them up into the satin area, but it's going to be just fine. We're just trying to get this so he doesn't look quite so odd. Now if you notice, there's some really odd looking things, and that's because we increase this design. So because select all stitches is still selected, I can actually come in here and actually select these, and I'm going to drag this out just a little bit longer. And I'm going to kind of clean up my stitches just a little bit so that they're not quite so whopper-jawed. And I'm going to grab this guy and slide him up here, and maybe grab him. Now, this is all because we're using a design that already exists, and we're just making some changes to it. And so you're going to find that you need to do this once in a while, especially if you grab a design that you really like bits and pieces of it, but there's things that just don't look quite right, like that. And I'm just going to drag him down here. All right, so I've got him pretty close to being what I need to be. And so I'm going to go back home. So now there it is. But what I want to do for those that have Ultra, you could actually take this into your modify module. So I'm going to go and I'm going to select only if you have Ultra do you do this. So I'm going to hit cut. I'm going to go to the modify module. And I'm going to do paste. Now there he is. Of course, I don't have this set for zoom to fit, so let's go zoom to fit. So there he is, and I'm going to zoom in on him a little bit. What I can do here is I can actually make these triple stitches instead of just single stitches. So I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to say, I'm going to select on this one, and I'm going to do a right mouse, and I'm going to say, change it to a triple stitch, and just do that with each of the items that are here. As I slide over an object, they're going to highlight, change to a triple stitch. It's just going to thicken it up a little bit. So if you don't have this capability, you could do this by going and just sewing over it a second time instead of it being quite so thin. So it's personal preference. I now have that done. I'm going to go home. I'm going to say select all visible, and then I'm going to do cut from here. And now I'm going to go back to my Premier+. And of course I need to zoom to fit so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to do paste. And now I have him kind of adjusted just a little bit. And he's a little bit heavier in the whiskers and the mouth area and the nose. But like I said, you can always go and do this and sew over that a second time if you don't want to do that part. Now I need to have two of that. I need to have this one and I need to have the one on the second side. So I'm just going to hit duplicate, drag him down here, and I'm going to flip him just by grabbing that little triangle, and there he is. So now I have two sides. I have him for the front and the back, so he's going to basically be two. Now, this is the ears of where we need to do the applique, and so that's really nothing but taking the carrot that's in the applique, and I'm going to go to SuperDesign, and I'm going to do carrot, and enter for search, and I'm just going to grab that, and I'm going to hit apply. Now make sure nothing is selected, because otherwise it'll try and attach it to there, and I don't want to group it. Make sure nothing's selected by just clicking out here. Hit apply, And that's just about the size I need. I don't need to make any real adjustments, but I do need to get rid of the green, and I do need to get rid of some of the other things. So again, we're going to go to the Modify module. It's going to tell me that it can't do it. It is going to convert this to stitches, which is okay. We're going to do okay. I'm going to zoom into that guy again. And I don't want any green, so I'm going to unselect where the orange is at. I'm going to say select all visible, and I'm going to do delete. So I got rid of the green, but I also want to get rid of this. Now you don't have to, but this is good practice for getting rid of things that you don't want. So if I was going to do that, I would just flip it and do a couple of different things. So I'm going to show you how to do this. We need to get rid of some of these stitches so I can get in here and do it. But the first thing I could do is freehand select and just kind of draw, click, hold, drag, and do delete. But now I still have these little markers. So what I'm going to do is right mouse click to deselect the tool. I'm going to get in here just a little bit closer so you can really see this good. And what I want to do is I'm actually going to watch this play out, and I'm going to get so that, oops, that's a little bit too far. I need to have that whole part of that carrot showing, and I'm going to move this all the way around. And again, I'm going to watch this. So I need to have that whole part there, and it's going to take some time, so take your time doing it. And then I'm going to go, I need to go backward on this one. Oop, too far. And that's probably pretty good. I'm going to box select and I'm going to hit delete. And now I need to do the same thing with these other two. So I'm going to just pause this so that you can kind of pause this so you can actually see what it looks like when I'm done. But I'm not going to record all that. Okay, so I'm on my last piece. And so again, I'm just going to kind of go through this pretty quickly. Okay, I need to have that part need to be visible, but I need to get rid of some of this other stuff. Oh, wrong way. So you're just going to keep playing with these slider bars. Now, if you were doing this, you could also do this over in the Modify module. But I wanted those with Extra to be able to see about how to do this. So I'm going to get rid of that. That's pretty good. Select all visible, delete. And now, oh, I have one little spot right there. So I'm going to, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to do select stitches. And I can just take that and just slide that in there. It's not going to hurt anything. All right. So now I'm going to go home. So now I kind of have my carrot. And he's nice and pretty and satin. And I'm going to actually get him and I'm going to duplicate him. So I'm going to zoom out here. Duplicate him. Move him over here and I'm going to flip him. I'm going to move him into place. So now what I can do is I can go box select, grab both of those, and I'm going to go and group them. And then I'm going to combine selected so that those become one. I'm going to duplicate it, put it down here, and I'm going to flip it and move that into place. Okay, so I now have my bunny ears. Now I need to do this outside edge again. So all of this is going to be done on one layer of fabric and one layer of the fusible interfacing that you have in there. I use no stabilizer whatsoever. I hooped this my whole piece of fabric with my fusible interfacing and did it all at one time. But if you wanted to, you could use tearaway stabilizer. If I was going to add a name in here, I would do it at this point because that way your stitches on the back side don't show because we're going to cover it because we're going to add this other piece of fabric to the back side and underneath it. So let's go do that. So I'm going to go and I'm going to go to the wizards again and I'm going to go express design into hoop, border, next. I'm going to go load that picture again, same one, do okay. I'm going to do next, and next. Again, no applique, so make sure you uncheck there. And then we want a triple stitch because this is going to hold everything together. My back piece and my my back piece and my front piece. So I'm going to do finish. I want to change the color. I want to make sure it doesn't get goofed up. What happens when there's blues in here, what happens is the blues tend to go first. It's kind of a way that digitizing just automatically assumes blue is first. So I'm change it to pink, and it doesn't really matter. It just needs to be a different color other than what you're already using here. So now what I need to do is I need to add in the little eyelet. Actually, sorry, I'm not doing the eyelets yet. I want to put this little box area in here. And what that does is gives the bottom of the bunny something a little bit more sturdy to hang on to. So to do that, we're going to go to the wizards again. We're going to go to Word Sculpt. And I want to come down here into shapes. As soon as I get down there. And the shape I want is this guy, looks like a square. I need to uncheck proportional. I need to change my width to 80 wide and 60 high. And I don't want it to be a satin stitch. I just want it to be a straight stitch. This is just going to kind of give it kind of a base so that when I fold everything together, it's going to work fine. So I'm going to do next. I don't need any words, so I'm going to highlight all of that. Do finish. And there it is. He's right there in the center. So I'm going to zoom in. So when we fold the box, what's going to happen is this is a wing and this is a wing and kind of folds in, and this is going to fold up and this is going to fold up, and this kind of gives my base something, just kind of solid, makes it a little bit more solid. So now let's zoom back out. Now what I want to do is I need to add the little eyelets to tie everything together. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab, I'm going to go to the letter tab, and the font I want is more traditional. For some reason, this one happens to work really, really well for me. And I'm going into traditional, and I'm going to narrow block. I'm going to change the size to 15. I'm going to type in a small O, not a 0, an O. And I'm going to make sure nothing is selected by selecting outside. I'm going to hit apply. Again, guess what? We have a couple things that are blue, and we need to fix that. Here, I'm going to fix this one real quick. I'm going to change that into red. So we've got that one, and I need to do this so that we have that in a couple of different spots. See, it's going to give me a perfect little eyelet. It's not terribly huge. It's about the right size. So I'm going to zoom back up. This one, I can go to Encore. I have circle selected, and it just needs to go around, and I need 4 of them. I'm going to hit preview. I'm going to grab, don't grab this yet. I'm going to grab this out. See how my mouse changes? I have four across. I'm going to get that so that the top one, this one, is like about where I need it to be. But if you notice, these aren't out far enough. So now you can actually grab this and grab it and pull it out just a little bit. And I'm going to hit apply. And I now have my 4 eyelets that need to be there. Now, I want to make sure that this is going to sew out correctly because I'm pretty much done. But what I'm going to do is, if you notice there, I left that blue, and it may not sew out in the order I want it to. But we've got outside edge. See what happened? The blue? I need to fix that real quick. So the new mySewnet software has this film strip that's over here that really makes doing this really easy. But in here, we have to go home. I need to go, and I need to use my either next design, or I'm going to tab until I have that little centerpiece selected. See how it's now centered? And I need to do my layout order. Now I can go and move it so it's at the very front, which just means it's going to sew after it sews the eyelets, which is fine. Move to front. And I'm going to change the color so it doesn't get goofed up again. I'm just going to change it to a brown. Now if I play this, it should all sew out in the order we need it to. The outside edge, the face, the ears, now you can't tell it, but it's sewing that pink. See, the pink is sewing. It's sewing the back piece to the front piece. And now I have that all done. It's all good. And I'm going to export it. And export it to where you want to save it so that you can have it for later use. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go my designs, and I have a 2020 one just for fun. So bunny for video. I'm going to do save. And just so that you see this, I'm going to actually pull this up over in mySewnet. So I'm going to go and grab a brand new one. Oh, let's grab this guy and I can get rid of him. He doesn't need to be there anymore. I'm going to do File. I'm going to do New Window. And in the new mySewnet software, it's always going to come back and it's going to say, what hoop do I want? How come it's not? I'm sorry, it's going to go to blank canvas. Now it's going to choose my hoop, and I'm going to say 360 by 260, and I'm just going to show you this because this is just so cool. I love it. So I'm going to bring in my design. I'm going to click on Insert. I'm going to go find my design that I've got, and it's in my documents, and I saved it in Premier+. It's in my designs, just for fun. And I'm going to do bunny for video. And because it's a VP4, look at this. This is going to bring it in as a group. With this selected, right mouse, and I'm going to pick on Ungroup. And each of my pieces are now there as separate entities, which is just like so cool. I can do some different things in here. I can move the order of them. And if I had been here when I made that mistake of this one being in the wrong spot, I could have moved it up, down, wherever I wanted it to. So cool. I love it. All right. So I hope to see some pictures after I did this video. Take care. Bye.